Everybody is said it. A lot of people say it all the time. There is deep rooted corruption in the Nigerian government, Nigerian financial institutions, and all that. A lot of people are saying this, and this is not a new thing. Everybody knows this. An 8-year-old boy on the street of somewhere in Ibadan, you can be randomly asked, and they will tell you the same thing. But we can't just keep saying that and not do anything. So that's why I'm making this video. If these steps in this video are implemented practically, okay, Nigeria can enhance transparency, accountability, and integrity in their government processes, in their government procurement, in their decision making, and that can reduce the opportunity for corruption and promoting good governance. It will promote good governance and will enhance public trust in state institutions, all those institutions like banks and the judicial court system and the academic system and the healthcare system. People will begin to have trust in them again. But right now, a lot of people don't have trust in all these institutions. It's just few people that have trust in these institutions. Okay, so practical process to implement open government initiative such as public disclosure of government contracts, public disclosure of budgets and expenditures. All of these things will enhance transparency and citizens' oversight in Nigeria. Because if we keep saying there's corruption, and we're not educating each other why these corruptions are endemic, and we're not educating each other why these corruptions are growing or how these corruptions started, all these things, we will only keep saying that, and corruption will continue, and nothing or nobody will stop it unless if the guys involved in it are tired of doing it, and I don't think they will be tired. I don't think they'll be tired. Okay, so first thing, right? Legal framework and policy development. So some people always say where there's no rules, there is no breaking of rules. So if you don't set something as rules, if somebody does something wrong, there's no rule. So where there is rules, then there is breaking of rules, and whoever break rules knows the consequences. So legal framework and policy development. This is one practical way to drastically reduce corruption in Nigeria. Right? You see, I'm not saying these things with a happy face, because corruption in Nigeria has gone past a level of child's play. Corruption in Nigeria is like a serious thing. If people that are involved in corruption put that same energy into doing good stuff, good initiative towards Nigeria and the citizen, a lot of Nigerians will be benefiting from Nigeria, and Nigeria will not have a lot of those problems that they have right now. Okay, so in the effort to legal framework and policy development, it's important to review existing laws and regulations related to government transparency and access to information. So, again, there are laws in Nigeria, okay? There are laws and there are regulations in Nigeria to govern transparency and access to information. But people don't know it, people don't follow it. And why is that happening? It's because nobody care about those kind of things, but they need to care about those kind of things, because if you don't know about the existing laws, you will just be doing things outside of norm. Okay, the reviewing of the existing laws and regulations that are related to government transparency and access to information needs to be done. Those review needs to be done so people can be educated or informed. All these things no one is doing. Okay. It's also important to enact or amend legislation to mandate public disclosure of government contracts, to mandate public disclosure of government budgets, to mandate public disclosure of government expenditure and government asset. Okay, all these legislations need to be enacted. Like somebody need to bring it back to life, so people can be aware of all government contracts that's available, or government budget that they are planning to, expend towards the rest of the year, and all government assets. All these things, I'm not confident that people know all government assets in Nigeria. Okay, we need to enact or amend legislation to mandate public disclosure of government contracts, public disclosure of government budgets, public disclosure of government expenditure, and public disclosure of government assets. That needs to be done. People need to know. You might say, oh, who cares? Who are the people that need to know? People in Nigeria don't care about things like that. It's okay. You can say that, but let that information be out there. Let people know. Not everybody is gonna care about it, of course, but if they don't know about it, they will not know where and how corruption is happening. Okay. Also, process to legal framework and policy development is also to develop comprehensive open government policies and guidelines to guide implementation and ensure consistency across government agency. Okay, this is important, to develop comprehensive open government policies. Open government policies means that government policies that are open to the public. All right, open government guidelines, the guidelines that the government have to implement and ensure consistency across government agencies. All right, so that's one way that legal framework and policy development can help reduce corruption drastically in Nigeria. That you see that I'm using the word drastically. Okay, there's no country in the world that has no corruption. The level of the corruption just varies. There's corruption in America, there's corruption in the UK, There's corruption in the Arab world. There's corruption in Qatar, Dubai. There's corruption everywhere in the world. Okay, but the level is what's different. Okay. Also, moving on to another method that can reduce corruption drastically, and that is the establishment of data infrastructure. Okay, if you think about it, most countries in the world that you don't usually hear about their corruption, or when you hear about the corruption scale, it's at a very large scale, right? It's because they have establishment of data infrastructure. They have the establishment of data infrastructure. They put money into it. Okay, they simplify the processes and stuff, right? So when you establish a data infrastructure in a place like Nigeria, you will be able to create centralized or decentralized platforms and portals for public access to government information, to government data, and to government documents. That's the whole essence of establishing data infrastructure, so that these records, information, all these things will be available, okay, to the public for access. Right now, I can guarantee that some youth in Nigeria don't know some government official website. They don't know that some website exists in Nigeria where you can access information. Okay, they don't know because this awareness is not there, and that is one of the reasons why corruption will continue to grow. And only few people know about some certain things, then the masses will be kept in the darkness. All right, so in the effort to establish data infrastructure, this will help to develop user-friendly interfaces and search functionalities to facilitate navigation and retrieval of information by citizens, journalists, researchers, and other stakeholders. All right, it's because there is an establishment of data infrastructure. That's why some people can be able to do research and look up stuff and see what's being said about their city, and see what's being budgeted for their city, and see, oh, this meeting is coming up on so date, we need to be there. Okay, all these friendly interfaces, okay, they will help masses know about the functionality of the government. All right, this establishment of data infrastructure will also ensure capability with different devices and internet connectivity levels to maximize accessibility, particularly in remote and underserved areas. Okay, so what this means is that different people will love different kind of devices. You like Apple, somebody else might like Android, somebody else might like Toshiba made. So all these devices should be able to access all this information. All right, you have to, when the government is making this data infrastructure, they have to accommodate compatibility with different devices and internet connection levels, okay, to maximize accessibility, particularly in the remote areas. They have to do that. So this will make it possible for a student that's in, let's say, Abia State, and he has a Dell laptop, and he's using it to do research about maybe government funding. Maybe he's an accounting student or some type of financial discipline. He can use his or her computer from Abia State to access the data that's centralized or decentralized in Abuja or Lagos, and this will be done smoothly with no hustle, no problems, no headache of paying somebody, all that thing. All right. So that's that on establishing data infrastructure. Data infrastructure will greatly help Nigeria in a lot of ways. Nigerians have no ideas. It will help Nigerians in a lot of ways. All right, so data collection and standardization. Okay, that's another big thing. Now you have data infrastructure. You have established data infrastructure. Okay, and now you want to come up with ways to collect data and standardize them. All right, and when you can collect data from all various sources, but if you don't standardize them, then it will not be in a unique format that everybody can access them. All right, so standardized data collection processes and formats to ensure consistency, to ensure comparability, and to interoperability of information across government agencies. Remember, the government has so many government agencies, right? If they are unable to exchange standardized data, then the cohesion between government agencies in Nigeria will be poor, will be very poor. For instance, if in the Abuja, I don't know, like maybe in the presidential villa, they need some information to be provided to maybe another government agency like the EFCC or the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is trying to exchange information with the Federal Ministry of Labor. If there is no method of data collection and standardization, there will not be this smooth communication across these government agencies. So when you have a data collection and standardization practice, all these government agencies will be able to exchange information easily and fast. Okay, there was a time I was hearing that court cases in Nigeria takes anything between 2 years to like 10 years for a court case. Like before your case can even be heard, you're gonna be locked up for so long, and that baffles me. Because in so many other places that are not even as perceived as buoyant as Nigeria, that don't happen. So some of the reason why this happen is because of corruption and backed up with lack of information exchange, right? They can't exchange information. They have somebody in their custody. They don't know where they're from. They don't They don't know who their parents, they don't know which state, which school they went to. There's no database giving them all of this, unless whatever the person provided to them while he was in their custody. That's what they were gonna go by. So you see, data infrastructure and data standardization will enhance, if somebody gets maybe arrested by the police in let's say Kaduna, right, in Kaduna state, and they arrested him, right, they should be able to access a standardized interface to see who this person is based on either the plate number of the car the person was driving, if the person doesn't have a car, based on the student ID card they are carrying if they are student, based on their passport if that was what was on them, based on even their fingerprint. Okay, somebody should be able to put fingerprint, and then they can pull up their record and know who they are. All right, so standardized data collection process and formats ensures consistency, comparability, and interoperability of information across government agencies. It will also establish data dictionaries, all right, metadata standards, and data quality assurance mechanism to enhance reliability and usability of disclosed information. So data collection and standardization will enable government agencies to collaborate with relevant stakeholders, including government agencies, civil society organizations, and international partners, to identify priority data sets and establish data sharing protocol. All right. Because of the importance of some data, there has to be a data sharing protocol, all right, to prevent data. All right, publication of government contracts and procurement information. Publication of government contracts and procurement information. So what does this mean? Require government agencies to publicly disclose all contracts, all tenders, procurement processes, including bidding documents, contracts, awards, and performance reports. It's important for all this information to be known by the public. This will enhance a lot of good things. All right. But I don't think right now, or if right now government agency is publicly disclosing all contracts, all tenders, all procurement processes, all bidding documents, all contract awards and performance reports, if they're doing that, let me know in the comment section below. I can almost guarantee that is not happening. All right, public comprehensive information on contract terms, specifications, values, contractors, and implementation timeline to enhance transparency and accountability in government procurement. So when government contracts and procurement information are published, all right, that we also ensure a timely and regular updates to reflect new contracts, amendments, and changes in contract status or performance. Right, so there's a lot that can be of benefits to Nigerians when all these things are published. when they are publicized. All right. Budget transparency and accountability is another one. So they need to mandate the public disclosure of government budgets, including revenue projections, including expenditure allocations, including fiscal policies. Okay. Budget transparency and accountability will also enhance publishing detailed budget breakdowns by sector, by program, and agency to enhance understanding and scrutiny of government spending priorities. So budget transparency and accountability is a whole lot of program that can also help curtail corruption in Nigeria. All right. Expenditure tracking and reporting. This one is really big. Okay. There is a need to require government agencies to report expenditures and their financial transactions in a transparent and accessible manner, including disbursement, payment, and revenue collection. Okay, that's a way to track and to report. You see, in places where there are no perception of corruption, places like maybe the UK and maybe what's this called, Singapore, all those places that are not known for corruption, things like that, it's because they have, the government requires their agencies to report all their expenditures and their financial transactions in a transparent and accessible manner, including disbursement, payments, and revenue collection. So they don't need to call for a huge meeting before they can see what an agency has spent, before they can see the budget allocated for something they are spending money on, before they can see who they paid. They can access the system and see what they're doing. So expenditure tracking and reporting is a huge way, right, to curtail corruption in Nigeria. I can almost guarantee that in Nigeria there's no tracking, and if there is, the tracking out of 100% is probably like 20% tracking. Now there's definitely no accurate reporting, because if there's accurate reporting, a lot of projects and a lot of social amenities will have been seen completed, and everybody will be able to speak for themselves that this is that and that they've done in my community. There's definitely no expenditure tracking and no expenditure reporting. All right. If there is happening at a very, very insignificant method. So when there's expenditure tracking and reporting, right, there will be a requirement to publish expenditure data in machine readable formats such as Excel spreadsheet or XML to enable analysis, visualization, and integration with other data sets. Okay, so when these things are published in like Excel spreadsheet or maybe Access format, so that way other agency can access them, in the common data set. So this is part of budget tracking and reporting. Implement expenditure tracking system and dashboards to monitor spending trends, to detect anomalies and identify areas of potential waste, areas of fraud, or areas of corruption. This is the key area that will really do the on the go tracking and reporting. All right, when expenditure tracking and reporting is in place by all the federal government, state government, local government, they all have the same data infrastructure where all this is happening. Trust me, corruption will be drastically reduced. All right, so there's a really huge need to implement expenditure tracking system and a dashboard. It could be a computer screen, white computer screen, or maybe an entire room that the wall is a screen that is just showing numbers. The moment an amount of money moves out from a federal government account or a federal government bank or a federal government location, there is an alert on the dashboard that's showing it. Will show this amount just came out. So Nigeria need to look into expenditure tracking and reporting. This is it's not like they will be tracking it by paper and then there will be no what's it called now on the spot updating, like current on the go updating, like something just happened now, it's updated right away, and someone else's job is to track that. Someone else's job is to make that into a report, or someone else's job is to call and be like, hey, that budget, why was it not the amount that we agreed on that was expended? Why? Things like that on the spot, on the go, you're catching all these things. So when you don't have expenditure tracking and reporting, then you can imagine how much money, how much time, how much fraud, all these things are going on and wasted, and nobody's tracking it. Okay, another way to fully reduce corruption is citizen engagement and outreach. Citizen engagement and outreach. Conduct public awareness campaigns to inform citizens about their rights to access government information and participate in oversight and accountability effort. Okay, that's in some country, that's what town halls are for. If you know what town hall is, that's what they're for. Town hall in so many developed countries, that's when they will have somebody that is in charge of some type of social affair or social program or government office. They will have them come to a meeting, like it will be like a church, but instead of a pastor preaching up there, it will be a government information that's being disseminated. Instead of being an imam that's on the podium speaking to the citizen, it will be a governor that's on the podium there that is conducting public awareness campaigns and be informing the citizens of their rights to access government information and participate in oversights and accountability efforts. So when they do all this, that's when they spill out. That's when they spill out the rights that citizens need to know, the rights of things that citizens can even themselves be police. They can police each other, they can police a government process, they can even point out ways where some things are going wrong in the community. Okay, so this has to happen. There has to be that citizen engagement and outreach, and it doesn't have to be strict. It doesn't have to have police all over or army, or no, it could be like an outreach. You can even have like small shops, right? Small shops in the hall. Make sure it's a big hall that can accommodate a lot of people. Yeah, somebody might say, well, is it when I'm like rushing to go and make some money that we have time to go and be listening to some government agency talking about something? It's okay, not everybody will be there, but those that are there, they will get the information and perhaps share it with the other people. And when that is going on a constant basis, where they know that, oh, every second Thursday of every month, Governor so comes to so hall and engages with citizens and discuss stuff, make public awareness of information. When they know that, then people will plan, and the number of attendance will increase and will be great. So that will really help to curtail corruption in Nigeria, right? So in the effort to perform citizen engagement and outreach, organize training workshops, all right? Organize capacity building sessions, organize outreach events to empower citizens to use open government data for advocacy, for monitoring, and for civic engagement. Somebody may be watching this video right now and be like, this guy is funny. You think Nigerian people are such that they respect each other like that? Yes, I think Nigeria is such people that respect each other like that. I think that is something that could be done. I think that is a possibility. That's something that will be done. Okay, so yes, establish feedback mechanisms such as online forums, citizen reporting platforms, and public consultation to solicit input, feedback, and suggestions from the public or government performance and service delivery. Right now, the only forums that I've seen as most effective in Nigeria are the likes of the Arise News, the likes of the channel televisions. I don't even know what AIT channel is doing now. NTA television, they're supposed to be doing this. I don't even know what they're doing these days. But the likes of the Arise News, channels television, Kimbaloyi, what's his name, and on Arise News, what's in Albati and Genix and Doe, and what's this other guy's name? I forgot his name. But and don't let's forget Otitoju, journalist hangout. So these are the only forums that I've seen that are doing some type of citizen engagement and outreach. So these guys are trying. They're really doing a lot. But imagine if this is a thing for all states, all local government, and all federal offices to do, and it's in the constitution like that. Imagine that. Imagine how informed, how well informed, how public information will be. Right? Imagine that. So establish a feedback mechanisms, all right, such as online forum, citizen reporting platform, and public consultations to solicit input, feedback, and suggestions from the public on government performance and services delivery. Okay, if with the absence of all these things, it's just really gonna be just the elites, running things. In some countries of the world, right, people can go to an online platform and schedule an appointment to see their senator, and they will schedule an appointment with you and you can go see them. You can email your senator and your senator can reply back to you. Is that happening in Nigeria? Can a street guy in, let's say, Apapa, for instance, Apapa, Lagos, can a street guy email Governor Sanwo-Olu and Governor Sanwo-Olu will respond, or somebody will respond? I don't think that can happen. Or can a street guy in Ibadan can go put together an email using a Gmail to email his representative? Even his local government chairman, is hard to see him. So these things needs to stop. The government agencies, federal government agencies, state government agencies, local government agencies in Nigeria, they need to have citizen engagement. They need to have outreaches. All right. They need to be present in the presence of people, in the presence of citizens. All right. Engage with them. Why do you think you need like 80 convoys just to go pray in the mosque? It's because citizen engagement and outreach is lacking. That's why you're scared that, I don't know this area. I don't know if these people are gonna hurt me. I don't know if these people are gonna kill me. That don't happen in most other countries that are doing better. I don't want to say countries that are already developed, but that's what it is. Countries that are already developed, when a governor wants to go to an area, the governor is comfortable. He's not gonna be scared, and he's not gonna have a convoy of 60 cars, 50 cars. No, you wouldn't even be surprised to see a governor in a bar, like Ileoti. Like, he will just come there. He's not coming there to drink. He's just coming there to have citizen engagement. All right, but it's not that it will not be planned. It will be planned. People will know he's coming there that day, and journalists and reporters and concerned citizens. When I say concerned citizens that want to know what's going on in their constituencies, in their local government and all that, they will be there. They will come there and speak to the governor. But is that happening in Nigeria? Anywhere in Nigeria? Is that happening in Ogun State? Is that happening in Lagos State? Is that happening in Ibadan? Is that happening in Abuja? Even that Abuja? Is that happening? And can the citizens in Abuja, can they literally try to just visit their councillor or like a local government chairman? Can they see them? I am almost certain that the answer is no. So citizen engagement is huge. Okay, citizen engagement is huge. I know some Nigerians might be watching me right now, and maybe they are laughing, or maybe they are taking this serious. Whether you are doing either of those, it's important to know that these are the things that will make Nigeria as a whole be a better country. It will also enhance reduction in corruption greatly. Okay. All right. The last one I'm going to talk about is the monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring and evaluation. Remember, if things are going on in the society or in the government agency, internal processes, and nobody knows about it, not even the head of that agency knows about it, that is such an anomaly. Okay, so in the effort to monitor and evaluate, right, there's a need to establish mechanisms for monitoring and evaluating the implementation of open government initiatives. All right, somebody has to be monitoring what somebody else is doing. All right, not like monitoring spirit. Well, if it has to be like a monitoring spirit, it has to be a monitoring spirit. Okay, not spirit itself, but you know what I mean, like constant monitoring, including compliance with disclosure requirements and user feedback. Right, when they get all these feedbacks, somebody needs to monitor to make sure those who need to read all the feedbacks and disclosures are reading it and they are responding. Okay, that's monitoring and evaluation. That's how each government agencies will be able to check themselves. All right, conduct regular assessment, regular audits, regular surveys to measure the impact of transparency measures on government accountability, on government citizen engagement, and on government public trust. Okay, did you hear that? These are audits. Like when you conduct regular assessment, when you conduct regular audits, and when you conduct regular survey, all right, to measure the transparency measure on government accountability, citizen engagement, and public trust, this will drastically reduce corruption in Nigeria. But if I'm sure some Nigerians thought of that, they probably could not implement it because of the way things are. All right, but hey, this will definitely help. Right, regular assessment, regular audits, maybe every month the governor knows to make sure that a report that's talking about how many times he went to perform citizen engagement in that month, that report is submitted with evidence. All right, so if he knows that is going on, that audit, that assessment, that survey is gonna happen, trust me, they're not gonna have choice but to do it. So monitoring and evaluation. Okay, use findings and recommendations to inform continuous improvement and refinement of open government policies and practices. You see, findings from all the reports, all the surveys, or the audits, findings from that and the recommendations can be used to further refine government policies and practices. And that is how civilized countries do this. That is how everybody is perceiving that places like the UK, France, America, Portugal, UAE, Bahrain. That's how people perceive that all these other countries are places where they can go to seek better opportunities. Why? Because they have legal framework and policy development. Why? Because these countries have established data infrastructure. They know who is coming in their country, who is leaving. They know who is bringing big money, who is bringing small money. Why? Because data collection and standardization is going on in all these countries that everybody wants to go, right? Why? Because publication of government contracts and procurement information is happening in all these developed countries. Why? Because there is budget transparency and accountability. Why are people perceiving, or why do people want to do everything possible to go to other countries? It's because expenditure tracking and reporting is going on there. For instance, in Russia, in Germany, in Yugoslavia, in Portugal, Singapore, all these nice places people are seeing. Is because they have citizen engagement and outreach, right? The other day, the governor of my state, Governor Youngkin, went to, after he won the election, he went to a bar in my local area here. If I wasn't doing anything that day, I would go to that citizen engagement. But I was at work, so I watched it later on the video. He was there. He was engaging citizens, talking to them, and they were chatting. It was like a church, because I know in most African countries, church is big deal, mosque is big deal. Why can't government citizen engagement be a big deal, like in the form of a church? But it won't be a church or a mosque stuff. It will not be a Christianity or Islamic stuff that's being discussed. It will be a government affairs that's being discussed. Why can't that happen? Why does everybody want to go to UK? Because monitoring and evaluation is going on there. They're doing it. They're constantly doing it. They are training people to do it. People that are on there doing it currently are even being monitored. And when they retire, other sets will come in there. The policy is there. Everything is there. So I hope with this little, because there's no way you will talk about situation of things in Nigeria and you will not get aggravated. I try my best not to be aggravated and not to be mad and not to be high pitch or high tone in this video. As you can see, I've been trying to be calm since, right? Because nobody will hear things that are going on in Nigeria and will not be pissed off and mad. So that's my piece for this video. By following this practical process, Nigeria can enhance transparency. By following this practical process, Nigeria can enhance citizen oversight. Nigeria can enhance accountability in government processes. Nigeria can enhance decision making, thereby promoting good governance and strengthening public trust in state institutions. Okay, that's all the information I have for you. If you have not hit the like buttons, I'm sure if you've seen this video to this level, you probably have some value from this video. Please like, subscribe, turn on our notification bell to see videos like this from Unbound Bash. Till next video, see you. Bye bye.